Good morning, students. I, Vijaya, your teacher of English, welcome you all to Rishikul Online School. Today, we are going to read Chapter 3 The Midnight Visitor by Robert Arthur from the book Footprints Without Feet. This is Module 2. So, come on, let's continue. So come on, let's recapitulate what we read. Till now, we read that Ozibel is a secret agent who is supposed to be dealing in espionage and danger. Unlike other secret agents who are smart and agile, he is sloppy fat man who speaks French and German with an American accent and lives in a nondescript hotel in Paris. So come on, let's read further when Fowler meets him. As he spoke, Ozibel closed the door behind him. Then he switched on the light. And as the light came on, Fowler had first authentic thrill of the day. For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in his hand, stood a man. Ozibel blinked a few times. Max, he whizzed. You gave me quite a start. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in my room? Max was a slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly that crafty, pointed countenance of a fox. As I told you earlier, as Ozibel and Fowler they reached to that room and he switched on the light. As Ozibel switched on the light, he found that a man with a pistol was standing in the room. Max was also a secret agent, but he belongs to a rival institution. And he was a crafty, cunning, like a fox. There was about him, aside from the gun, nothing specially menacing. The report, he murmured, the report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new missiles. I thought I would take it from you. It will be safer in my hands than in yours. Ozibel moved to. Now, here in this paragraph, Max, the man of medium height and has a fox like face, he tells Ozibel that he is there to grab the papers on new missile being brought to him that night. Ozibel quickly employs his presence of mind to assess the entire situation. Ozibel moved to an armchair and sat down heavily. I'm going to raise the devil with the management this time, and you can bet on it, he said grimly. This is the second time in a month that somebody has got into my room through that nuisance of balcony. Fowler's eye went on a single window of the room. It was an ordinary window, against which now the night was pressing blackly. Balcony? Max sat, with a rising inflection. No, a passkey. I did not know about the balcony. It might have saved me some trouble had I known. Now, as he sits in the armchair, he concocts a story about a balcony outside the window of the room. He tells Max that a man had entered his room earlier through the balcony, and Max's entries confirm that the hotel staff did not take serious note of the previous intrusion. It's not my balcony, Ozibel said. with extreme irritation. It belongs to the next apartment. He glanced explanatory at Fowler. You see, he said, this room used to be part of a large unit, and the next room, through the door there, used to be the living room. It had the balcony, which extends under my window now. You can get onto it from the empty room doors down, and somebody did last month. The management promised to block it off. Now, Mac's entry confirms that hotel staff did not take serious note of previous instruction. He claims that he would raise hell with the hotel management for not plugging the route. Fowlers look through the window but cannot see anything as it is pitch dark outside. Max tells Ozable that he is not aware about the balcony and has entered the room with the help of the pass key. Ozable keeps Max's attention engaged by expressing wonder at the leakage of information about the missile report. Thank you very much. We will meet soon in module 3. Thank you.